Right. So we are rolling. So what brings you guys to Omegle today? What's going on?
Just bored looking for something to do.
Cool. And you guys said that you're from Arkansas. We haven't really talked to many people from Arkansas in here. What is life like over there?
Nah, it's not much. There's a little bit here to do, but not much at all. Like, it's the natural state, so if you like doing outdoorsy stuff, then you're good to go.
Well, are you guys like in kind of a bigger city or like a smaller area?
We're kind of in a big city, but we also have like surrounding small towns.
Would you ever want to move away from Arkansas? Or are you happy to be there?
I'd want to move away.
Really?
I've been here my entire life, and I just want to get out.
So where do you want to go?
Honestly, Missouri.
Could you talk about that? What's over in Missouri you think that's not in Arkansas?
Well, I've visited there a lot. I have some family that's there, and there's just a lot more to do.
What are some things that you really like doing? Like, are you in school right now? Are you working?
Yeah, I'm in school.
Cool. Do you
I'm
have
a senior in high school.
cool? Do you have any big dreams?
Well, I'm hoping to. I might be going in the Marines. I'm not fully sure yet, but if I do, then after that, I'm going to go to college and either become a cardiovascular surgeon or a ped surgeon.
Wow, so you like the sciences.
Oh yeah,
Wow, cool. So how did you get into that? Are your parents interested in science?
yeah. I have a bunch of family that's been in medical. Like my mom works in the medical field. My grandmother works in the medical field, and I've just had a bunch of family.
Wow. So like what is it difficult to as a woman to sign up for the Marines or is it like harder for women or is it equal?
Uh, yeah, you can talk on that one.
Yeah, here let's see who's over there.
Sorry.
Hey, what's going on?
First off, shit.
Nice.
It's it's different. It's a little harder. The standards are a tiny bit different. It matters really on your recruiting center, but it's job opportunities are a little different, but it's really not that much harder. A lot of the branches try to keep stuff about the same.
And what like the opportunities? Could you talk a little bit about what you know with that? Like is it is it like the science jobs that are pretty equal or
Um, Enlistment process really is based off of like your ASVAB score, which is pretty much the ACT for the military. So as long as it goes from 0 to 99, 99 being the highest you can score on the ASVAB, it's based on different things: mechanics, science, math, English, just a ton of different things. It's a little more common sense based than an ACT, and it's based off of each section and then an overall score overall, and pretty much what you score on that matters what branches you can enlist in, and also what job opportunities you're able for. So if you score really high in the mechanics area but you score really low in the rest of the areas, you can be a mechanic but you can't go into a field where you can possibly become a surgeon.
wow, cool. Wow, you were well researched and articulate. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for
I'm
sharing
in
that.
military. I was raised by a Vietnam vet who was drafted in. All my family's military, and I became military. So
Wow. So how long have you been in the Marines?
about a year and a half.
What has that
I'm
been
happy.
like? What has that been like? Could you kind of share a story or two about what that experience is like?
It's really. I'm actually in the process of switching branches, but a lot of it is based off of like every person's individual experience. But it's for me, it was Marines wasn't really built for me. I'm very more articulate, and I'm very much into like the intel side of stuff for the intelligence.
I can tell. Yeah.
Getting involved in like the medical side of stuff, the intel, learning how the human brain works, how that goes about, and how like I know multiple languages and I use that on day-to-day basis sometimes of learning. Like cryptologic language analysis is a job in the military, and you're sent to a school for like 2 years to learn anywhere from 2 to 4 languages, and then you're sent to another school to be able to hack into other people's like systems and translate it up to your higher command.
Oh
But the
my,
military is really based off your higher command and how you want to go about it. So kind of
wow.
embracing the life you're given and making the best of it and
See, that's
finding what you
crazy.
enjoy.
That's nuts. That's crazy. So, so how do you guys know each other? Are you family?
No, we actually met at the recruiting office.
Oh, cool. Great. So you guys are, oh, that's great. And man, so I guess I have so many other questions. So so for the, well, what do you guys go by? What are your names? I don't want to just say like girl on the left and girl on the right, you know.
Hey, good. I'm Elizabeth.
I go by Bailey most of the time. It's my given name, but a lot of people given me throughout the years have given me nicknames and stuff. But I go by Bailey.
Bailey, okay. Bailey and Elizabeth, okay. So Elizabeth, what is it about the Marines? Like, why not another branch?
I've just always had an interest in it. Like, I've wanted to challenge myself physically and mentally because mentally, like, during PT, they mentally like and physically like break you down and then build you back up, getting you ready for boot camp, which they do the exact same thing, just a little bit harder. Okay, a lot of it harder. But I've just always wanted to challenge myself and see what I can do.
Right, kind of pushing your limit. That's great. Interesting. So, do you guys have any advice, or I guess Bailey, since you've been in, do you have any advice for the people listening on how to properly prepare for boot camp and the Marines?
It's more mental than anything. If you can mentally take what they're going to give you, you'll make it through anything. Research your, like, a big thing is researching your branches. So the U.S. military technically has 6 branches at the moment. One branch is not considering recruiting at the moment. It's the Space Force, but it is considered a branch of our military now. Learn your options. Listen to what your recruiters have to tell you. And if it's something you really want to go for, do it. It's hard. It's not for everyone. And you may love the military, and a branch just isn't for you. Each branch has a very different mindset and a very different way about going about stuff. Research. If you can learn what you're getting yourself into, you can better prepare for it mentally.
Do you have any? Could you give like a Spark Notes version of what you think what each branch kind of like excels in, if you have the time or the knowledge?
So I was raised in an Army family, so for the Army, they very excel and like they're one of the oldest branches. They're the largest branch. They have a little bit of everything, and there's a lot about camaraderie. I can't talk, and very morale based. It's also built very much on tradition. The Marine Corps is built very much on a family point of view. It's the strongest branch. All of the nicknames for that branch, Devil Dog, Jarhead, are very much based off of physical appearance and their fighting force. They are not there to do stuff long term. They're there to get a problem solved as quickly and as efficiently as possible. No deployment for the Marine Corps is usually over 6 months. They like to go in, fix stuff as quick as possible, and get out. The Air Force is very much the nickname for the Air Force in all the branches is Chair Force. It's very much like more. It's very much more office based, not completely, but they control a lot of the stuff that most people don't see. You have people sitting in cubicles. You have the people controlling a lot of the stuff behind the scenes in that branch. Coast Guard controls a lot of our oceans and makes sure stuff moves swiftly in country in our waters. Navy does that, but based off in our oceans and seas on local property, not local, but like the ones where U.S. has some control. They also are very much based. They're more like they're they can easily, it's an easier transition back into civilian life for the Air Force and the Navy. They're built for those jobs to easily transfer out of the military. My uncle retired from the Air Force and he did over 20 years in the Air Force and has an IT job. And he did it for 20 years in the Air Force and now he's done it for 10 years outside. And then our Space Force, not a lot's known about it yet. It's still a lot of building going on there. They're recruiting inside of other branches at the moment, and people are switching branches into the Space Force.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping within the next 5 to 10 years they start doing civilian recruiting.
Wow. Geez, how that is like so. Yeah, it's just so much information. Just amazing that you know that and you're so articulate. To I guess so. I want to get Elizabeth involved here because she's.
Sorry, she's on her phone. She's mad about it.
No, totally no. But I want to include both of you guys. So like I guess for both of you, can you talk a little bit more about like your experience in Arkansas and like what do you think are some like things that could be improved where you are? Like what are some things that are kind of not working well and how do you think they could be improved? Elizabeth, I'm looking at you. If you or you could just answer. You could just share a story about yourself or something if you want to.
Let's see. Well, for me here, I grew up in Southwest Little Rock and kind of North Little Rock, which is more of the people say like ghetto part. So I basically grew up in the ghetto. But
It's more inner city.
yeah, a lot there. There was like more gangs and more like violence that happened, and a lot of homeless people. Like what people need to do, like now, what I'm wanting people to do, and I'm hopefully eventually gonna get into it, is like raise money to build more homeless shelters, get people more like what they need, like essentials like socks, toothpaste, toothbrushes, blankets, sleeping bag, just all the essentials that they need to survive, like especially living out on the streets, because there's like more homeless people in Little Rock than I can count. Like on every corner, there's someone just like begging for food or money or something. I mean, yeah, there are panhandlers that are like, here, like, can I have some money? And they'll just go off and buy a beer or cigarettes or something. But you can actually tell when someone's homeless. And it's horrible. Or there's like a bunch of, like the main mall that they have there, Park Plaza, it's gotten ransacked so many times. It's gotten, like, robbed or it's gotten shot up. And it's just like, I think last year alone there was 47 homicides.
Oh no!
And it's insane. Like
So-
I could literally just be sitting in my chair watching the news on Sunday, drinking coffee, and I'll hear a gunshot across the street, and it's normal.
So like, why do you think this homelessness is so bad? Why do you think the crime is so bad? I don't want to say that homeless people are the people committing crimes because that may not be right. But like, why so much homelessness and why so much crime? Do you think?
It's because let's see, like the crime like also associates with homelessness, like crimes that happen to people, they'll become homeless and they'll have to like if they get robbed, they'll have to sell off their houses, cars, to just try and pay off their debt, and then they're out on the streets. They can't do anything for themselves. They can try and get a job, but it's difficult, especially because like COVID's a thing and so many jobs are getting taken and people are getting laid off. Like especially my Nana, she works at the hospital that's down there, and she's scared because she doesn't know if they're going to shut down because of COVID or not. And she's a surgeon. And so right now they're cutting off elective surgeries, which is mostly what she does and what she scrubs in on and what she makes her money from. And they just haven't been able to do them. They're doing emergency surgeries only. And yeah, there's a lot of emergency surgeries, but there's still a lot of people and a lot of ORs that they can use to scrub in and do surgeries and just make that money.
Wow.
But they can't.
Wow. So you think COVID has been a major influence on all
It's
this?
had a major impact.
And also, our state is very conservative and very Republican, and our governor hasn't done anything really to help try to provide for. And no hate on him; it's been a problem for years to help our homeless communities. Like the town we live in, it's a pretty large population. We are right on the border of Oklahoma, and there is one homeless shelter in our town. There is two like food pantries. Most of our food pantries, clothing pantries, stuff like that, to help people in need are based off churches and what churches are given. So it's very like faith led, and it's not city led. So if the churches aren't doing it, there's no other way for it to happen. The town we live in has one homeless shelter, and then they have what's called a crisis intervention center, where women who are getting out of abusive situations, children who are also in those situations, stuff like that can go. But other than that, we don't really have anything that our governor or cities have put into place.
Wow. I guess I'm interested in asking you guys about politics. I guess a little bit. Like, what have your thoughts been, and like what is your community kind of thinking about all of this stuff that's happened in the last since the new year? You know, like with the riots at the Capitol, and what is your point of view of that, of what happened?
Honestly, people are scared because, like, here, because yeah, we live in Arkansas and we're close to Texas and we're right on the border of Oklahoma. So, as people would say, we're like a yee state. We have a bunch of people with guns, like jacked up lifted trucks, but we've got some crazy people, and like people don't even wear their shirts out anymore. Like either Trump or Biden, doesn't matter who, which side, like which party they vote for, they don't wear them out anymore because they're scared they're either going to get jumped, they're going to get shot, or they're just like they're going to get ransacked
On both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I consider myself a patriot. I consider myself an independent and a patriot. I love my country, but what happened at the Capitol is wrong. I consider myself a Trump supporter. I'll admit it. I voted for Trump, but what's happened in the last 6 months is wrong. We are becoming so divided as a country. Stuff needs to get fixed. I stand for our military. I stand for our law enforcement. I had to take the stickers off my car to make sure that my windows didn't get busted.
Yeah. You know what? Like, there are so many. We have an idea of who people are in our country, right? Like, Democrats, like blue states, a lot of the people that I've hang around with say, you know, oh, Trump supporters, you know, they're all crazy, they're all for this, you know, like, but hearing your point of view, both of your points of view, you know, it's so much more complicated. Human beings are so much more complicated than Democrat, Republican, red state, blue state, you know, and just by you guys talking about your opinion, it's adding so much more complexity and humanity to, you know, to your state, to the military, you know, like you guys are wonderful representations and role models for you know, places that you're wanting to go. So I really thank you guys for being honest and articulate about it, because we need more of that, you know. People are just
We do.
sick of it, sick and tired of like people not listening, you know. And you guys are great listeners and very articulate and educated, smart women, you know.
Thank you.
But anyway, I could go on forever. But what are some other things before we get going that you guys think is important for people out there to think about or to know?
I would just say respect other people's opinions and their thoughts, because like we've talked to other people about like if they're a Republican or a Democrat, whoever they vote for, Trump or Biden, and we've gave our opinions, and other people have gave their opinions, and we respect them. Everyone is each to their own. Everyone has their own like chooses, but there's some people that don't respect it at all, and they just try and like break each other down instead of building each other back up. like there's like girl empowerment and stuff like that, and like supporting each other and guys supporting each other, but like both genders equally need to support each other.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's actually, yeah, that leads to a follow-up question I want to ask. As I'm guessing, I would call you both conservative women. Like, what do you think, we need to do in this country for women's rights? Like, what do you think is the next step for women's rights in your eyes?
Um, oh, this is a tough question. Hmm. Do you have anything to add to that? Because I'm having to think for a second.
Yeah, there's no problem, no rush.
Let's see.
I think a big thing is just like equal pay is still kind of a problem, but it's that gap is fixed pretty well in the last few years once it was realized. Um, just it happens in the military as well. It happens everywhere. Realizing that our gender, our sexuality, the color of our skin, anything should not determine where we are in a workplace, where we are in society. I don't care what color your skin is, what sexual orientation you are, what gender you are, any of that. What matters is in your heart and what's in your brain. That's the only thing that should matter on a promotion, where you are in a church, where you are in work, any of that. It shouldn't be about equal rights for a woman or a man or a certain race or any of that. It should matter what's in your heart and what's in your brain. I don't care what color you are, any of that. It goes for gender rights, for women's rights, for any of it. It shouldn't be a thing, but it is in America. It is in a lot of countries. It's a problem with a lot of developed countries even. It's our education like that shouldn't matter. A woman should not have to walk down the street and worry about if she's going to get attacked. And it's a thing. I know so many women that only conceal carry because they are scared of getting attacked. And it's sad, but it's a reality. And if we can have more education and mainly just more education on gender rights and equal pay, and the glass ceiling is a problem. That equal pay is not mainly based off of, well, we work the same job. It's men have more opportunity in big corporations to promote and get promoted. And a glass ceiling is a thing. We're a country, we've been a country for thousands of years. Never once has a woman been in office. It's about education.
Wow, great. Wow, Elizabeth, do you have any thoughts of, I don't know, women's rights and what's the next step?
Well, I know. I'm trying to think there for a second. Well, basically going off of what she said about like just rights about everyone, like especially the LGBTQ plus community. We literally just got our first, I think it was our first trans person in office, and Trump put them in office, and they got so much hate. Like they were downfalling them, like, oh, they don't need to be in office, like they won't do anything. That's just not right. Like that's not godly. God accepts you for who you are. And everyone makes mistakes. Everyone sins. It doesn't matter who you are. No one's perfect. Like, yeah, I go to church. I try and live my life like a Christian. Try and live my life more and more to be like God. But Christ. You know what I mean.
Sorry.
No, I get no.
And her, we mentor off each other all the time. Sorry.
Yeah. But no one's perfect. No one can be perfect. There's no way. But
well, I gotta tell you, you guys are the leaders, gonna be the leaders in the next 20 years. So I don't know. Like I listen to you, I see you, and I have hope. I have hope. It's awesome. It's badass. It's badass. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah. But anyway, I will be uploading this video like right now. So if you want to check it out, you can go to building underscore bridges and subscribe. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah, you'll be able to check it out pretty soon, okay?
All right.
Thank you. I just subscribed.
Awesome. Great. And thank you guys for taking time out of your night to talk to a stranger on Omegle.
No problem.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
All right.
Have a great night.
Amazing. The people, I'm telling you, the people on here surprise me every time. Every time. They are amazing. And the more I talk to people on here and listen to people from all over the world, the more I have hope. All right, guys. Love you.